Okay, that missile drone that we intercepted before the, or was it after? Anyway, yeah, before the suicide drone managed to put a single missile into our manufacturing repair ship, which we call the dung beetle, because builds things like a dung beetle out of crap. So I think it's a good analogy. So it managed to land a single hit on its top thruster, and the ship drifted topwards to its own axis a little bit, and I think still drifting slowly. So I'm gonna try to repair that and then keep using it to finish building the carrier, the Infinity carrier here, retrofitting it. Wow, why is it off? Huh, forward? Okay, that was odd. Never happened to me before. Having a component being taken out, damaged by something, and then after repairing it, being turned off. Well, I guess there's always a first time. Okay, let's continue. Okay, I'm gonna show you around the modifications that we have been doing to the Infinity carrier. Many of those modifications are based on lessons learned with the Calypso. Now, with the Calypso, we are trying to make a ship as functional in survival mode as possible. As we mentioned before in earlier videos, many of the concepts that you devise in creative mode, they only work in creative mode. When you move into survival and you have to take into account other factors like the availability of spare parts, uh, basically the whole thing changes and you have to rethink a lot of the designs that you have planned. So, as you saw in a previous video, the first thing that we did, we leveled this landing pad, which was higher, was one block higher, as you can see here, and it had ramps. We basically leveled it and we put it on the same level as the main hangar. Now, this design, I like it so much because it lends itself to so many cool features. For example, it had a space here, like between the landing pad and the hangar, that could be used as a staging area to keep the alert fighters. So the fighters that are being, ready, or they are actually ready to be launched. So you can keep them in this area, and this area functions as an airlock. So any fighter that you need to work on, that you need to repair, you can move it into this inner hangar, the hangar deck, and close these blast doors, and basically remove your helmet and work on it using gravity and having direct access to the components and spare parts here. So basically that helps you be more productive because you don't have to go and recharge your suit, or you don't have to go and refill your oxygen tank. And also this large bolted roof here, the original design had a landing gear to lock fighters in place, and we discover that at full speed or at like high speeds in this game, things tend to shift around and clip through and explode. So we decided to get rid of the landing gear and I'm thinking about adding maybe a robot arm or some welder here to repair the ships in this area, or even build them. We added 2 assemblers on each side with a productivity module. The original ship had no assemblers, had no refineries. We have yet to add the refineries to this design though. I mentioned before that the author has a second version, a long haul version, which has refineries and assemblers and all that. But I wanted to upgrade this not just because we found this version, but also because we want a smaller ship. We want an assault carrier, something that is in between a cruiser and a carrier. So these are the plans for this main hangar deck. Now I'm gonna go back outside. I'm gonna show you the other changes. So when we decided to level the landing pad, the retro thrusters that were at the belly of the ship, they were basically gonna burn through the landing pad. So we also leveled this place here. We had like a V-shaped array of thrusters facing forward, and we decided to remove these small thrusters and replace them with these 2 larger retro thrusters encased in heavy armor for protection. And we're gonna add some ramps, blocks of heavy armor here to further protect these kind of like afterburner thing of the engine, very much in the same manner that we have here in the Calypso. Now, that being said, another let's say aspect of the design philosophy of the Calypso is something that many of you already know, is that turrets, they don't like other blocks. They don't even like other turrets. Okay, I have another incoming enemy drone. So I hope, well, I'll let the Calypso and the Infinity take care of it while I narrate this. That's why missile turrets especially are really dangerous to your own vessel. That's why in the Calypso they are protruding in these kind of mounts, these like pyramid obelisk mounts. So they have empty space around them and they don't end up blasting themselves because they shot at the block right next to them and they take splash damage, which happens a lot. So we move the turrets, we make them protrude, so they can now actually fire forwards, potentially destroying those Gatling guns, but they are 1 block further out than the Calypso ones, so maybe that won't happen. We'll see. So that's that's the update that we did for the missile turrets. And now for the aft section and the antenna housing. The original Infinity carrier had an antenna housing, which is basically this protrusion, this kind of like cylindrical protrusion, this hump that you see on this hunch actually that you see on the back of the vessel. That thing held the antenna and was 1 block thinner. So we enlarged that, we made it 1 block wider on either side, and we moved the antenna upwards, and we gave it a little bit of protection. It's already protected by the bridge, this encasing here. I think having the antenna in a housing is a cool idea. I do not like it aesthetically. It's kind of like a way of gaming the system, like cheating the system in a way. I don't mean that in a bad sense. So I do like to use the antennas outside. At least they also serve as a, for aesthetical purposes, they look fine too. As you can see, the Calypso has its antenna also protected relatively on the belly of the ship. Okay, let's see, that's a missile drone. Let's see what it does. And let's see how this system behaves. Oh no. As you saw it, they didn't shoot each other, they didn't shoot at themselves, they didn't shoot at their own vessel. Fortunately, the angular speed of the drone relative to this point in space was too high, and its missiles basically exploded above us. We apparently had a single hit on the dung beetle, which got absorbed by the light armor. So far, our design changes are working. Now let me give you a tour. A tour on the inside. Let's see what happens when this drone returns. Oh, we got another hit here. I don't know if it got the engine. Let's see. Should be getting into range soon. Oh, that's too bad. Okay. They got the drone. Nice. Apparently the heavy armor absorbed most of the hits. We got one turret damaged. Nothing that we cannot repair using the dung beetle. Now, let's try the self-repair function in the Calypso. Okay, repair offensive weapons. Nice. As you can see, the idea is that the self-repair system repairs these missile containers. Let's see, yeah, fully repaired, and fully repaired. The outside armor, it's fine if it takes a beating. Basically, the philosophy here is that the welders repair the internal components, and the manufacturing or repair vessels or repair drones repair the exterior components. Okay, one of the welders got damaged. Now let's see what's the contingency for that. Let's turn this off so we don't weld ourselves when we get close to that. Now these exterior systems and even some of these secondary turrets like these 50mm quad gun, they are semi-expendable. The main guns here, they have their own self-repair system, the 220mm guns. So it's fine if we lose the secondary armaments, even these Gatling guns, as long as we keep the main offensive ones and the missile turrets with that welder. That gives us the opportunity to disengage and run away if we see ourselves being overpowered. So, now, if we're in combat, the combat protocol would require that all personnel carries an oxygen bottle, helmets on, and the entire ship is depressurized and the doors closed. You know, to prevent any accidental venting of crew members outside of the vessel, and also to prevent losing atmosphere. And at this point in the game, the host, which in this case is me, has to run around repairing subsystems that cannot be reached by the area of effect of these welders, like we see here. So we lost this welder, mainly because this self-repair system wasn't activated. If it was activated, the welder would be repairing the outside armor, and the enemy missile wouldn't penetrate into here. So you can engage this thing preemptively. So let's see. Okay, this is damaged. Um, we need, I think it was 8 motors, 12 of these, one large steel tube, maybe some computers and something else. Let's see. Oh, there's actually 2 motors, 2 computers, and 5 steel plates, and a lot of construction components. So 2 computers, 5 steel plates. Let's just say the rest of this thing. Okay, tiny IKEA pieces, like we like to call them. Okay, the the welder is being repaired. Like I said, in combat, you will need a crew member, in this case the host, unless they update the multiplayer features, running around the ship repairing subsystems that are outside of the reach of this self-repair system, or the self-repair system itself, like we have here. So you can actually repair this welder while it repairs the main battery. Okay, let's turn it on and see if it has something else to repair. Yep, it did repair something. Okay, everything is fine. We'll do the other, repair of the outside battery later on. So, let's continue our tour of the interior of the Infinity carrier. Now, I mentioned that the antenna housing wasn't large, and now it houses the cryopods and the medbay, and the antenna was moved upwards. We added a main battery similar to the one on the Calypso, similar to the one that you see there. We added it here. We are keeping the Gatling guns, though we don't like guns right next to each other, but so far they have not been giving us problems. So we're gonna recharge our energy here, and we also added full oxygen capability inside of the Infinity carrier. The original ship was pre-oxygen update, so it didn't have any oxygen generators or any oxygen tanks. But did this thing just fire at me? Anyway, I heard the sound of the Gatling gun shooting. So this is the main access. We have kept this unchanged. The only thing that we added was another layer of a door. We kept the security system. We removed the stairs, the long 2-block stairs. We basically changed them by these passageways, which are more space saving. We added a vent. We kept a cargo container, but we linked it to the system of conveyors. The bridge, the navigational bridge, is unchanged. We segmented the ship with 3 bulkheads. This is one of them, and there behind this conveyor you see that light armor block. That's another bulkhead. Like I mentioned in earlier videos, we use actual naval architecture terms and concepts to build these vessels. Okay, you can see cryopods, oxygen. We go down one level, we're gonna find here the CIC. This used to be the med bay, but since this is overlooking the main hangar, we decided to turn this into a command station so you can control the repair, the building of fighters, and also manufacture other like drones and stuff, and fly and control the ship from within the hull in a protected location. So that's the CIC. And we move the medical bay behind the CIC, underneath the antenna housing. We added a deck here and bulkheads, like I mentioned before. Okay, if we continue downwards, in this area, we move the gyroscopes. The gyroscopes were located ahead, forward, into the hull of the vessel. We basically eviscerated the entire vessel, and we just left like an empty hull, and we proceeded to do some like interior remodeling and decoration of our own. So we added gyroscopes here, and everything is accessible, you know, so you can weld things. Yeah, you see gyroscope, gyroscope, gyroscope. So you can basically repair things from within. That's the main idea here. We kept the reactor room unaltered. The location of the two reactors is the same. We just added some gyroscopes here, air vents, conveyors. We like our vessels to look like actual naval vessels. So crew compartments, modeled after the ones in the Calypso. Showers and toilets on this side. Sorry for the textures. Crew compartments here. You know, you can actually go in between. See, there's plenty of space. Move left and right. These bunk beds, just like a submarine, narrow, you know, constricted, the way we like it. And we're back at the hangar. So that's it for the tour of the retrofitted Infinity Carrier. Now what's left to do is basically add guns and refineries to the bottom of the vessel, which is quite plain. Right now, you could argue that it's kind of like a seagoing vessel, you know, nothing much going underneath, below the waterline. But since there's no such thing as a waterline in space, we're going to add the refineries, armor plating to protect them, and some guns to the sides. Okay, stay tuned, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care. Okay, I think I discovered a way on how to install the refineries here. It's gonna be kind of like a mirror pattern. So I'm gonna clear out the space and show you how it's going to be. Okay, here's my solution to the whole lack of refineries inside of the Infinity Carrier. What I did was basically clear out the lower space of the armor plating, the light armor plating that the ship had at the bottom of its hull, and only leave this heavy armor plating, which is basically the floor or the deck of the hangar. And I did the same here, just leaving the deck of the, I think this is actually the main access elevator corridor, and part of the reactor compartment. So I cleared out a space of 3x4. A space of 3x4 basically enables you to install a single refinery with all of its modules, all of the upgrade modules. because the basic refinery has an offset uh, model or object of 2 by 4 by 2 in height, or that's width, well, depends on the angle that you look at it. And I use the offset ports for the conveyors in the refinery to actually connect it to this central square conveyor, which is going to act as the central hub that links the two refineries with the 4 large cargo containers that you see here on the port and starboard sides of the vessel. So I am going to weld the 2 refineries, and then I'm going to add the modules, and that leaves me just one single block of space for armor plating, which I'm going to do with light armor, keeping in tune with the whole design, the original design of the Infinity Carrier, that has an overall construction, like a main structural construction of light armor, and only heavy armor for the critical components like thrusters and weapons, the ones that are going to keep you afloat, or the ones that are going to keep you alive and being able to maneuver and evade and defend yourself. So let's weld those 2 refineries. Let's see if we can move stuff from one into the other refinery. Oh, yeah, it has to be some ore, which I don't have. Okay, to see if they're connected. Okay, magnesium, we can move this. Yes, refinery 6. Where's the other one? Oh, silly me. One into the other, yeah. And, oh, sorry. From the refineries into the large cargo containers. Okay, fully connected with the ship's conveyor system.